Well, uh, Pastor Chris Hoy with you, and we are almost done with our Lenten journey. We find ourselves here on Holy Saturday, and if you made it this far with me, I'm guessing with Easter preparations and all the activity that happens around this holiday, you are likely uh, ready for a break, and I'm hoping that you get a bit of one on this Saturday. Let's just take a deep breath or two as we prepare for God's Word this morning. I guess just now I mentioned morning, and you may be viewing this at some other time on this Saturday, depending on what your activities are. Um, so, happy midday or happy evening as well, if that may be the case. I will be reading from Matthew chapter 27, verses 57 through 66, and I'll be reading from the New King James Version. Now, when evening had come, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who had himself also become a disciple of Jesus. This man went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded that the body be given to him. When Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his tomb, which he had hewn out of the rock. And he rolled a large stone against the door of the tomb and departed. And Mary Magdalene was there, and the other Mary sitting opposite the tomb. On the next day, which followed the day of preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees gathered together to Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that while he was still alive, how that deceiver said, After 3 days I will rise. Therefore command that the tomb be made secure until the third day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say to the people, He has risen from the dead. So the last deception will be worse than the first. Well, Pilate said to them, You have a guard. Go your way, make it as secure as you know how. So they went and made the tomb secure, sealing the stone and setting the guard. How terribly hopeless Mary Magdalene and the other Mary must have felt as they sat opposite the tomb and watched the large stone be rolled into place. The tragic events of the previous hours must have put them in a sense of shock. All they know at this moment is that they want to be present, to be near Jesus. His loss would leave a huge gaping wound in their souls, and they are grappling with what to do and how to respond. The time to sort all that out would be later, but for now, they just need to be near. Their presence and their witness to the sad chore of seeing Jesus, their Lord and Messiah, being laid into a tomb, honors the man that they have so faithfully followed. He had loved them dearly, and now he's gone. The disciples have scattered, hiding in fear. The shepherd has been struck down, and indeed the sheep have scattered. This is supposed to be their Sabbath, their day of rest and gladness. But there is no rest to be found, and there is no gladness in their heart. If you know grief like this, the loss of a close relative or friend, you know how useless words can be in capturing deep sorrow. Sometimes those who have never had a significant loss think that they need to say something, and that, well, what comes forth then is less than helpful. Even the truths of God's word and the promises that he gives us, well, we are rarely in a place to receive this encouragement while still deep in our sorrow, despair, and grief. Silence and presence. These things can help. Just being with someone in their grief. This is the wisdom of the Jewish practice of sitting Shiva, and Shiva is derived from the word Sheva, which means 7, signifying the 7 days of mourning in the Jewish tradition. Its primary purpose is to provide a time of spiritual and emotional healing where the mourners join together. And this 7-day period of mourning, which is customary for people to come and visit, they just take time to be with the bereaved. Consider this wisdom and take some time to just sit and do nothing today. Maybe there is something in your own heart that needs to be mourned. The silence and sorrow of this Holy Saturday sets the stage for the joy that is coming. So don't rush through it. Take your time. Be with God. Remember, as profound as the atoning sacrifice of Good Friday and the remarkable joy of Easter morning is the silence and sorrow of Holy Saturday. Now, in your quiet, if you'd like to have some additional passages for contemplation, there are quite a few that are suggested. I'll try to repeat them so that you can write them down. Other passages for contemplation include Job chapter 14, verses 1 through 14, or Lamentations chapter 3, verses 1 through 9 and 19 through 24. That's Job 14, 1 through 14, or Lamentations chapter 3, verses 1 through 9 and 19 through 24. Also suggested are Psalm 31, 1 Peter 4, 1 through 8, and John 19, verses 38 through 42. That was Psalm 31, 1 Peter 4, 1 through 8, and John 19, verses 38 through 42. May God bless you on this Holy Saturday. Again, take some time to just be today, to have some quiet before the activity that comes with tomorrow's Easter celebration. God bless you. I'll see you briefly tomorrow. I know you probably got lots of activity planned for Easter, so our time together will be short tomorrow, but I do hope you'll check in.